Hi, everyone, and welcome to Hope Springs Eternal, our Cubs and White Sox season preview show for 2014. I'm David Kaplan.
And I'm Chuck Arfine. Over the next 60 minutes, we'll set the table for the season ahead on both sides of town with interviews and guests from the Cubs and Sox biggest stars. It's Hope Springs Eternal, and it starts right now. We begin with the White Sox. Coming off a 99-loss season, GM Rick Hahn spent the offseason reshaping the roster. They added Avi Garcia at the trade deadline last season. He acquired Adam Eaton and Matt Davidson from the Diamondbacks and signed Cuban slugger Jose Abreu to the largest contract in White Sox history. And scouts and analysts have taken notice.
You know, they traded for Matt Davidson. They traded for Adam Eaton. They signed Jose Abreu. They traded for Abisail Garcia last offseason. So there's 4 young players, and you know it's hard. It's not easy to go out and acquire quality young players. I like all those guys. I think they're doing some really nice things. Garcia's a guy who I think is going to play nicely in a corner alongside Eaton. I mean, so now you've gone out in really a span of less than a year and gotten 4 guys that you can build around in the lineup. So I think that bodes well for their future.
No one is ready for a new season more than White Sox manager Robin Ventura. Nothing went right on the South Side for the White Sox in 2013. After finishing last in the American League in runs and errors, Ventura has gone back to basics in Glendale. He sat down with our Jen Latta recently and spoke about the season ahead.
You know, you get to a point where you do drills that might seem it's beneath what they feel like they should be doing, but you know, I've got enough video to prove that we need to do it because it's been proven. We saw it. We tried to do it last year with just speaking, but you do work on things and you go over it and you do drills that maybe most major league clubs don't do. But we do have younger guys, and you want to make sure you cover everything. And that's the point where we're at right now. We're covering everything because I don't want to get to a point where something happens on the field and we didn't go over it. Because then it's our job to have them prepared, and I feel like if we didn't have them prepared, that's on me instead of on them. So when they're going out there, they're the ones doing it. So we're doing a lot of things. I mean, we've covered everything.
You're still learning. I know that about people in these types of roles. What's the most recent lesson that you can remember, like, oh, that needs to be done, or that?
I don't know the recent, but there's things that come up all the time that you just. You might jot a note down. Don't do that. Don't do that again. So I do have my own little internal list of don't do that next year, or don't do that next week. And I don't share it with anybody, but I do keep a little running things of things I won't do again.
A lot has changed since October 2009 when the Ricketts family took control of the Chicago Cubs franchise. A complete overhaul of the front office and the scouting departments now has the family believing the pieces are falling into place for the Chicago Cubs.
As you see all the pieces start to fall in place, I mean, you could talk about the personnel. You can talk about bringing in Theo and Jed and Jason and everyone they've brought in. And you can talk about the player personnel. You can talk about getting a minor league system that has a lot of depth and a lot of stars that are, potential stars coming up. And you can talk about facilities. I mean, this is a project that wasn't even, I mean, this was Crane had started this project before we bought the team. But this took 5 years, and now it's falling into place. You look at Dominican, that's falling into place. So you just see the steps and the pieces, and it just gives you confidence that we have a great future.
Tom Ricketts mentioned the new Cubs Park. The Cubs broke Cactus League records with crowds at their new spring training and minor league facility that is the biggest in Arizona. The team is hoping to begin a renovation project on Wrigley Field as soon as 2014. President Theo Epstein has been vital in renovating the personnel department, and he sat down with me as he begins his 3rd season in Chicago.
We know what's coming, and so we're excited about it. That's why when people ask us these doom and gloom questions, I always say, no, morale is fantastic right now because we feel we're part of something special. We know our fans don't always get to see that, and so it's hard to ask them to be patient. But I think our fans have done a phenomenal job of understanding the program and hanging in there with us and supporting us through this difficult transition. And we want more than anything to reward them with great teams year in, year out, and yeah, with homegrown players and young players who can be here for a long time, it's even better. When you get to know players for their whole career, it's that much more meaningful as fans.
Talking with scouts around the game, the perception, and I wrote this the other day, the perception of the organization is so radically different outside the Chicago city limits.
Yeah.
A, does it bother you? B, do you look at it and go, that's what I'm trying to tell everybody, we're getting there?
No, I mean, I try to just eliminate perception altogether, whether we're perceived as really talented and about to explode from inside the industry, or we're perceived as not knowing what we're doing and why is this taking so long inside Chicago city limits, as you say. Neither one matters. Perception will only get you in trouble if you start to factor it into the equation. We're concerned with reality, and there's a clear reality about how to build winning teams in this new baseball landscape, and we think we're certainly headed the right direction. There's a vision that we all have for what the Chicago Cubs can become, and each year, if you can add several key pieces to get you closer to that vision, it does keep you going. And again, it really comes back to giving the fans a reward for their trust in us and their patience in us and their patience for over 100 years. And that day is coming closer, and morale is fantastic, whether it's our amateur scouts knowing that we're going to sign the guys that they identify as the best players out there, that we're invested and we're shoulder to shoulder with them scouting the players, our coaches in player development knowing that they're making a guy better for the Chicago Cubs, not just for trade bait, or the major league staff knowing that we're going to play young players up here and they're going to be key to our success. I think everyone's bought into the vision, and now it's just a matter of working hard to make it happen.
Next on Hope Springs Eternal, the White Sox hoping Adam Eaton is the spark that ignites their lineup in 2014. I had a chance to go fishing with Adam in Arizona. And let's just say we might want to stick to our day jobs. And the Jeff Samardzija rumors continue to swirl. How the Cubs ace doesn't allow it to become a distraction as he prepares for his opening day start in Pittsburgh.
It's March Motor Mania at Arlington Nissan. Right now, he must be a fan of great savings.
Right now, you can drive a brand new 2014 Nissan Sentra S for just $199 a month, or the redesigned 2014 Nissan Rogue for just $249 a month.
Bob Rohrman, Arlington Nissan at the corner of Route 53 and Dundee Road. Part of the Midwest #1 volume auto group.
Today, Feldco honors the best of the best, the top of the class, the ultimate in energy efficiency. To celebrate, Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1.
That's right. Get 2 windows for the price of 1 and graduate to higher savings with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 1 year.
2 windows for the price of 1 and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Your old air conditioner is costing you money. Put your money back in your pocket with a new air conditioner from Four Seasons. And right now, get a new energy-saving air conditioner from just $24.95 installed. Furnace and AC combos from just $36.95. Plus, enjoy 5 years interest-free financing. Call today for your free estimate on a new AC from Four Seasons.
For all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons.
Comcast SportsNet is the place to be on opening day for the White Sox and Twins. At 2 p.m., we'll have a special 1-hour pregame live. Bill Melton joins me. We'll have live guests throughout the show. And then at 3, the White Sox bat out the Twins as Chris Sale makes his 2nd consecutive opening day start. As one of the newest additions to the White Sox, Adam Eaton is someone who brings energy to the field every day. And at spring training, he made sure to bring his fishing pole as well. One afternoon after practice, he brought me along in the hopes of reeling in a big one. What would happen? Take a look. So where are we exactly here?
We're actually in Tempe, south, or actually east of Phoenix, south of where I live in North Scottsdale. Beautiful lake, a lot of trout, a lot of bass. Should be a good time.
So we're here at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I mean, do they normally bite a little more in the morning? Yeah. Oh, so this is prime time to catch nothing.
Yes.
So, Adam, have you heard of Hawk Harrelson?
Yes.
Play-by-play announcer?
He's the man, the legend, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a little Hawk Harrelson catchphrase. Stretch!
Stretch!
Get on back there!
Chuck's just hoping we catch one fish so he can go home. He's like, just one, just get us out of here.
We've been here for 7 hours, and we have not caught anything.
Bad luck.
All right, well, the fish aren't biting here, so we're changing things up.
Yeah. It might be user error.
Hour 9. And no fish. Not even a bite.
Yeah! Over a pound? Yeah. Nice. A fish!
We got a fish! The one fish here in the river!
This has scared everything away.
This has scared everything away?
It's gone.
What's going on over there?
No, I'm luring them in. I can only do so much.
All right, well, we didn't catch a fish. We didn't catch a fish, but it was a lot of fun. Good times.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was an offer. But
you know,
there was always tomorrow.
Yeah.
We had some other success on the squad today, but you know, we'll come back tomorrow.
We'll come back tomorrow?
Oh, well, I'm here if you're here. I don't care.
If not tomorrow, next spring training, redemption. Hey, fish, we're coming back. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Eden played in 88 games for the Diamondbacks the past 2 seasons. The White Sox center fielder will hit leadoff after a great spring in the Cactus League. He grew up in the Midwest, attending Miami of Ohio University. He was a career .348 hitter with a .450 on-base percentage in 4 minor league seasons. For more on Eden and the White Sox new faces, here's Jen Latta and my partner, Bill Melton.
One of the best to ever wear a White Sox uniform. I have to say that. We have a lot of things to talk about today, but let's start with the fact that this is a very new team. 99 losses so far in the rear view with this squad. How do you see these changes affecting the wins and losses this season?
You know, actually, I think I'm one of about 2,000 White Sox players that played, so I'm somewhere in that mix.
Yeah, of course.
What do I like about it? I tell you, I've given it a little bit of thought. I've managed to do some games out here, and it's hard to follow early in the season, but you see a lot of young guys on both sides of the field. But I saw these guys in a fantasy camp we had in January, and I thought it was the Bears offensive line. That's how big these guys are. We'll start with Davidson, and you got Bray, you've got Garcia. And I was thinking about what does this remind me of, because I remember back in 97 or 98, we came off a really bad season, and that's when they came out with the slogan, "These kids can play." And everybody was kind of laughing at that, but when we got done, you had 4 of the young guys, Magli Ordonez being one, Carlos Lee, all wound up being all-stars and all wound up with 15 years in the big leagues. So I kind of feel this is more like the kids can play. It's a clean slate. I think it's great. I think it'll energize the fan base, because we're looking at guys that are not only big, but they're great athletes and they run. So I think you're going to get probably less mistakes out in the field. We got a little more coverage in the outfield, I think. And I've been pretty much of an advocate of minor leagues. I like young guys. I like them to succeed. And I think I'm going to have a lot of fun watching these guys and see how they develop, really.
No player has been the subject of more trade rumors than Jeff Samardzija. Throughout his 6 seasons as a Cubs pitcher, the Shark has seen it all. The playoffs in 2008, 101 losses in 2012. And despite all the rumors, the longest tenured member of the Chicago Cubs in 2014 says he's focused on this season and what he can do on the field, despite the fact his future may not be in Chicago.
You know, all I can do is go out and be as good as I can, and really all this comes down to is 2 or 3 guys. You know, it doesn't come down to outside sources or other presidents or managers or players. It really only comes down to myself, my agent, and Theo, and in the front office will count as one. So that's all that matters, and whatever goes on there is really what makes things happen. Obviously I think things can happen on the outside that that cause drama or cause speculation, and that's all it is. It's just talk. So until something, I'll believe it when it happens, I guess, is kind of the approach I'm taking. Is when I hear it and I see it on my phone or I hear it in my ear, then I'll know something's up. But as of right now, I'm like we said before, I'm happy to be here. I love being in Chicago. I love being a Cub.
You have always said, I want to be a Cub. I want to be in Chicago. Played at Notre Dame. I played on the biggest stage. You like the pressure. You want to be on a winner. Does it disappoint you that baseball is truly a business? Because you're not about the business, or you'd have grabbed as much money as you could 2 years ago.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I understand the business side of things, you know, for sure. And with what we do, you have to understand that and understand how that side of things works. But, you know, ultimately for me, it's just about winning games. And the best way to do that is to go out and do your job and prepare and, you know, get to know your teammates, try and come together as much as you can with this long season. You know, there's going to be plenty of times when you need each other's backs. And you know, just try and build from the ground up with having a lot of new guys around and create that camaraderie and, you know, and that excitement for the season. And you know, when that happens, and then you start, you know, improving, guys start getting better, young guys, and everyone starts contributing, then you start winning a lot of games, and that's what it's all about.
Samardzija reached career highs last season in starts, innings pitched, and strikeouts, despite an ERA that reached 4.34 by season's end. He's under team control through next season. The two sides have failed to reach a long-term extension despite many talks. Here's our Cubs analyst, Todd Hollandsworth, what he expects from the Cubs ace in 2014.
Really excited for this opportunity for Jeff Samardzija. He wants to lead this rotation. He wants to lead this organization into the future. I look at this as the year he really has to prove it. He has to come out and show, even when expectations are certainly a little bit lower than just about everybody else in the National League, certainly in the National League Central, that he can be that type of leader. 32 times out there, getting it done, putting up the stats. There have been things that I think kind of pull at him right now. We look at last year, struggled a little bit during day games, had some issues late in the season that I think we kind of caught. If he's going to get paid like an ace, pitch like an ace, and it's going to be a big year for Jeff Samardzija.
Darwin Barney missed out on his bid for consecutive Gold Gloves last season. He takes us through his routine on how the Cubs plan for some of the game's most dangerous hitters. And Paul Konerko is back for one final ride. The Sox captain is one of the organization's greatest players of all time. Bill Melton on why he thinks Konerko's final season will be good for team chemistry.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that, Parker.
Well, did you know auctioneers make bad grocery store clerks?
It'll be $23.50. Now 75, 23.75. Hold them, hey to get down 23.75, 24, hey, $24, 24 and a quarter, now half, 24 and a half and 75 and 25, now a quarter, hey, 26 and a quarter, don't them, hey to get down 20, you want to do it, 5 and a quarter, sold to the man in the khaki jacket.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you, well, you know.
Do you feel trapped by your credit cards? $25,000 in balance now means your minimum payment could be $1,000 a month. Be late, and there go the late charges. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Consider eliminating with Chapter 7 or no interest repayment under Chapter 13. Call us for a free phone mini consultation or log on to infotapes.com.
If you're worried about debt, call now to see if you qualify. 1-800-401-4010.
The Kia Optima LX for $189 a month has more horsepower than the Honda Accord and gives you way more bang for your buck. The Optima has an overall 5-star safety rating, Bluetooth connectivity, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's the no-brainer of all no-brainers. At $189 a month for qualified lessees, there's never been a better time to visit your local Kia dealer.
I think they definitely are one of the top systems in baseball. And when they took over, obviously the last few years of the Jim Hendry era, I think the primary focus was on winning at the big league level, and that's where a lot of the resources went. And then the farm system, slacked off a little bit. They also traded prospects to get veterans. And, I don't think there's any system that has, a quartet of hitting prospects like you do with Baez, Bryant, Almora, and Soler. And I know the pitching's of concern, but they've added some pitching depth too in the couple of years they've been around. So I think they've made a lot of positive strides, and I know Cubs fans are going to have to be patient, but I think it's going to be a pretty good team in a couple of years.
Jim Callis from MLB.com is just one of many who are excited about the Cubs' future. In his MLBpipeline.com's top 100 prospects, the Cubs have 5 players in the top 50, led by Javi Baez and Chris Bryant. The powerful duo could see time on the north side later in 2014. Here's Cap and Holly on the state of the Cubs' current rebuild.
Todd Hollandsworth, let's talk about where the rebuild is right now. Fans a little frustrated. This is year 3 of Theo and Jed. Theo speaks about the momentum in the system. The fans want to see it at the big league level. Where is the rebuild?
Oh, probably the worst position yet, as far as the fans are concerned. Why? Because we've seen a glimpse in spring training of how good these prospects are. We see the polls that are coming out. We look into minor league baseball America. We see the top 100s. We see the top 10 prospects for the Chicago Cubs. We see Baez. We see Bryant. We see Almora. We get excited and we look at these guys and we get a glimpse of them. We see how good they can be. And we're told we have to wait just a little bit longer. Yeah, it's exciting. It's probably going to be maybe the most painful year because you know that they're getting there. They're getting close, and we're starting to see the results. These guys are maintaining and getting better year in and year out, and they're getting closer. Baez probably will arrive here in 2014.
The Cubs' future looks to be a bright one as President Theo Epstein, GM Jed Hoyer, and VP of Scouting and Player Development Jason McLeod have assembled one of the best farm systems in all of baseball. And rival GMs and executives around the game are taking notice and believe the Cubs very soon will be annual contenders.
They're too smart and they work too hard for them not to succeed. That's been saying that every time somebody asks me. That's how I feel because I've been around them and I know how they do things. The combination of brains and work ethic, they'll figure it out.
Theo has done it, and Jed was there with him in Boston. I mean, they're putting it, and at least I'm a little biased because I happen to think Theo and Jed are two of the best executives in the game, you know, that when they're good, they're going to be good for a long, long time. I mean, listen, the decade that Theo was there, and it's arguably was the best run baseball team for the last 10 years. There's no reason to think that it's not going to be the same. He's got the same blueprint.
No National League second baseman has fielded his position better over the past 2 years than Darwin Barney. The 2012 Gold Glove winner narrowly missed out on another Gold Glove in 2013. His preparation is meticulous, and he took us inside his positioning for some of the NL's toughest hitters during spring training.
Barney with a backhand, the flip, relay!
There's a lot of different positioning. A guy like Buster Posey is tough. Goldschmidt's tough. If I'm playing Goldschmidt in the 4-hole, he can hit the ball up the middle anytime he wants. And he's even come on base and been like, I love when you guys split the middle for me because I can just shoot the ball up the middle. So we try and take that away from those guys. But there's so many reports and detailed video on guys that we're starting to learn what kind of balls they hit hard, where they hit the ball hard, where they hit 5 hoppers, where you're going to have time so you can position yourself in a place to defend the hard hit balls and range to the not so hard hit balls.
Ground ball, diving stop, Barney. The throw to Rizzo, what a play.
When Castro and I do our double play turns before every game, we go through the same routine. I draw these lines like this. And so this will allow me to work on a turn. So when I turn double plays, I try to stay out of this area right here with my feet. And like, for example, Matt Holliday's probably one of my most feared slide-in guys. You know, he comes in hard, he plays the game the right way, he stays low, but he comes in hard and he's very smart with how he comes in. So I make sure with a guy like him, when I'm turning that double play, I'm gonna stay outside these lines to make that throw and force them to reach as far as they can with their hand. That way they can't come up on you. Believe it or not, a lot of us infielders play like 5 different scenarios through our mind before every hitter. Sometimes you have to break it down pitch to pitch if it's late in the game and your infield's in, or depending on who's on base. But for example, if it's first and third with 1 out and we're playing a double play depth and there's a really fast runner at the plate, you know, you're gonna play those scenarios through your mind. If it's hit up the middle, we'll turn 2. If I'm coming this way and I'm charging hard, can I go home? All these things go through your mind in an instant before the pitch happens.
For the second straight season, Darwin Barney led all Major League second basemen in fielding percentage. Brandon Phillips of the Reds finished 5th in the NL last season, but edged out Barney in his chance for a second consecutive Gold Glove. Of course, Barney had just 2 errors in an impressive 2012 season that earned him the Gold Glove.
White Sox Executive Vice President Kenny Williams exhausted himself winning the World Series in 2005. And now he believes the White Sox are adding the necessary pieces to make another World Series run in the future. He's never felt better breaking camp, as he told our Jen Latta in Glendale.
People don't understand how alert you have to be at every waking hour. Because you never know what's going to come your way, from having 175 minor league players to the major league roster and all the things that can happen on a given at a given time there with the other general managers, the clubs, and all the things you have to stay on top of. You've got to be alert at all times, and sometimes it can be pretty overwhelming. If I were going to fail, and my goal, make no mistake about it, was not just one World Series. I wanted to bring multiple World Series to Chicago. If I were going to fail, I was going to do it and I was going to exhaust myself trying to do that. And that's about the only thing that I did succeed in, is exhausting myself in doing it. But we are now actually more efficient in the way we are structured than we've been since I've been here. Rick can focus on some of the day-to-day things with regards to the major league team, and have the communication with the media, with the other general managers, with Robin and the coaching staff or whatever. And I am kind of more globally looking at the organization as to how can we get better. We needed more leader types. We needed more guys who were committed to that, even if, and it wasn't, the funniest thing is, it wasn't until we decided to take a little lesser talent sometimes and a little more character, a little more heart, that we started to begin to have progress around here, and we started to consistently compete for a division championship. And that's why I'm so excited now when I look at what we've been able to do in a very short time to turn over our roster, and I see guys like Eaton come to play every day. One of my favorite players, Avisel Garcia, who runs every ball out and plays hard. The focus on Abreu and the way he gets his work done, and those kind of things, it's infectious. And young players coming up like Marcus Semien, who have that same mentality and stuff. It's infectious, and it's been the shortest spring training that I've ever been associated with, and that's a good thing.
Thanks, Jen. Well, Paul Konerko is back for his 16th and final season on the South Side, and in a new role as part-time player, part-time mentor. Konerko ranks as one of the franchise's greatest players. Prior to 2012, he said the White Sox could have a successful season without making the playoffs. So what defines success in 2014?
We have enough talent in here that I think we'll make it tough on some people. I mean, no predictions or anything like that, but I think there's enough guys who could excel with that type of environment that they would grow real fast and could get good real quick. But just the whole process, last year it got so bad because we were losing that all we focused on was trying to win, which is the worst thing to do, because you're just focusing on the result.
As Konerko embarks on his final season in the big leagues, teammates both young and old will pick his brain, trying to absorb anything they can from one of the franchise's greatest players.
It does go by fast. It does. You get told that when you're in your 20s that, hey, don't take anything for granted, and I mean, you kind of take it to heart, but most of the time you don't. But now that you get here, you look back and you only get one run through, So when it comes to the work you want to put in and the stuff you want to accomplish, you can't be afraid to be good. It's a tough business, and every minute that you're here, you should be doing something to get better.
Konerko ranks second in most offensive categories in White Sox history, only to Frank Thomas. He's just 21 homers shy from tying the Big Hurt's team record of 448 home runs, and only Luke Appling has played in more games in a White Sox uniform. Here's Jen Latta and Bill Melton on Konerko's decision to come back.
Have you known a guy in the last 10, 15 years that has meant as much to a team as Paul? And we've got some great White Sox players when you think of Frank Thomas and even go back even further. But what has Paul Konerko meant to this team?
Well, it's not always what the guy does for the team. It's the respect that the clubhouse players have for him. And I remember, I can go back 15 years when Paul, I introduced him at a winter banquet, and after watching him play a year, he's the type of personality and the type of person that, he loved Moose Skowron. He was a Yankee fan. He grew up in Connecticut, and his dad loved Moose Skowron. But Paul was a student of the history of baseball as far as enjoying the game. I think he was a hockey player. But I remember introducing Paul at this banquet. Actually, I think it was the Children's Hospital banquet, and I said, here's a guy that is a retired player. I can honestly say, if he'd have played in the 60s or 70s with us, he'd have been highly respected. We would want him on our team. You can't say that about a lot of players. A lot of guys are tools, but when you get a Paul Konerko and you get that type of personality, he's like an old-time player with big-time numbers.
He's regarded as one of the best pitching coaches in the game. When we return, it's Coop Unplugged.
So look for me at the end of the day. I want to go in and just show you. I want to habla.
Don Cooper mic'd up at Sox camp. Plus, Jed Hoyer's blueprint looks good for the Cubs' future. But how about what's heading north when the Cubs open in Pittsburgh? Cap goes one-on-one with the Cubs GM.
You know what phones are supposed to have? Buttons. One for each number. So-called smartphones have 2, maybe 3 buttons max. That's neat. But what do you do when you want to dial a 4? It's not so smart then, is it?
Nice phone, dude.
Thanks.
Smartphones make life easier. That's why Esurance is introducing Video Appraisal. You can use your smartphone to video chat with a claims expert. They'll assess the damage and help settle your claim faster than ever. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate.
I referred 4 of my neighbors to DirecTV, and now I get $40 off my bill every month. But the real reason I did it was that stupid cable van. It seemed like every week there it was, ripping out this, tearing up this. I mean, it was always something. DirecTV is reliable, and you get the best channels.
Refer a friend to DirecTV, and you'll both get $10 off your bill every month. Just give them your account number before they call 1-855-REFER-NOW.
All over America, people love to get out and become one with the elements. The problem is that the elements wear out their welcome. Because even if you have ordinary car mats, dirt, spills, snow, and salt find their way off those mats, ruining your car's floor anyway. Unless you have WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech floor liners are laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Front, back, even up the sides. So all of those messy reminders go into the liner and stay in the liner until you wash them away. Go to WeatherTech.com. Just enter your vehicle make and model. Select the liner and color and say goodbye to all those little resale robbing reminders. Questions? Give us a call at 1-800-CAR-MATS. Don't wait until it's too late. Order your protection today. WeatherTech floor liners. Complete protection, completely American made. WeatherTech.com.
Welcome back. The White Sox rotation lines up this way. With 3 lefties in the rotation, they'll go lefty-righty with Chris Sale, Felipe Polino, Jose Quintana, Eric Johnson, and John Danks. Don Cooper has seen it all as White Sox pitching coach, from a World Series to no-hitters to perfect games. Who knows what's next for the man affectionately known as Coop? Not only is he one of the game's best pitching coaches, he's also one of its most colorful characters.
I know what I like. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. Pound them. See how good you can be. Challenge yourself to see how good you can be hitting the down spots, both sides of the plate. And if you miss, you're missing below that spot because the ones above that have a tendency to leave the stadium. The most fun part of the job for me is the daily interaction with each guy. That's what perfect would look like right there, Beck, just so you know. That's a dynamite pitch. You lower it 6 inches, it's unbelievable good. Oh, look at this guy. Somebody's getting my attention. I love my job. I love Chicago. That's all reliable. People say, well, you're one of the top guys. I don't look at it that way. Listen, all I want to be is to be the best coach that the Chicago White Sox have. Because I guarantee this, whenever we land, your curveball's going to be better because of the air out here. That was a nice one. Hey, baby. I think a lot of people say that the better players don't make the best coaches. If that's the case, I got a chance to be a heck of a coach because I wasn't a very good player. Okay, that pitch right there, going to be ready. Going to be ready. No question about it. My passion is pitching. My passion is Chicago White Sox pitching. I never want that to change. It's okay. I like it. I like it.
A big key to Coop's rotation is a bounce-back season from John Danks. Things haven't necessarily gone according to plan since signing that 5-year, $65 million extension in 2011. After a 4-14 season coming off shoulder surgery, Danks is finally healthy and ready to prove he's still a key cog in the White Sox rotation.
I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be eventually. Certainly wouldn't have taken the ball if I didn't think I could help us win a game. You know, it's one of those, you kept hoping that, maybe this is the start where something clicks and feels better. I wish I could have contributed more, but, it's part of the game, and I'm looking for big things this year.
Now almost a year and a half removed from surgery, Danks says he finally feels 100% healthy. Do you feel like, to some degree, because of what people saw from you last season, that you might be a little overlooked this year?
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't overlook me. Even make me a question mark. I totally understand that. It's going to be on myself and the rest of the guys in rotation to pick up the slack. We know we're going to get up top, and we need the other three to contribute just as much.
As for ace Chris Sale, he tied for 5th in the majors with 14 losses last season, and was still good enough for 5th in the AL Cy Young race. With a new season comes new expectations, and Sale brings a chip on his shoulder to 2014.
I'm coming in with a chip on my shoulder because, heck, I had a losing record last year. I was a loser, and that's not fun for anybody. I don't care who you are, how good you thought you are, how good you might be. It sucks. So we're coming in with a chip on our shoulder, and we're going to try to turn some heads and surprise some people.
Chris Sale has finished in the top 6 in AL Cy Young voting each of the last 2 years. It's easy to see why he ranks amongst the league's best in many categories. What does Sale mean to the rotation? Back to Jen Latta and Bill Melton.
How important is Chris Sale having another Cy Young candidate season to this team?
Well, I think what Chris has done is he's developed as a leader, the leader of the pitching staff based on, once again, his success. So the young guys that are going to join him, we don't know exactly who it's going to be. It looks like Quintana, and of course John Danks is throwing a lot better. So they're actually, other than Quintana, pretty much veterans. Your young guys like Eric Johnson, I think it's really important that Chris Sale learned from Mark Burley. These guys aren't going to go up and try to emulate Chris Sale, but they're going to ask him, how'd you get so-and-so out the day before? It's a lot of knowledge there, but they have to understand what Chris Sale has is pretty special that they don't have. But it's really more about building confidence. I think when a pitcher has a tough day, he likes to sit and talk to a veteran like Chris Sale and kind of, breathe a little bit and say, what do you think I did wrong? And then players can correct a lot of the stuff themselves. They don't need to go to Don Cooper all the time. Again, I'll get back to the issue of respect. Chris Sale's been an all-star for 2 years. He's got more strikeouts than any White Sox left-hander in history. You start adding that up, guys say, they listen to what he has to say.
Looking at the Cubs' projected rotation, Jeff Samardzija gets the ball on opening day. The number 2 starter and the home opening starter is Travis Wood, a 2013 All-Star. Edwin Jackson is looking to bounce back from an 18-loss season. He's slotted 3rd. Newly acquired Jason Hamill gets the number 4 spot in the Cubs starting rotation. Chris Russell and Carlos Villanueva both in the mix for the 5th and final rotation spot. I had the chance to sit down with Jed Hoyer in Mesa and get his thoughts on his team heading north for 2014. Fans look and they like to play armchair GM. We'll trade this guy for this and sign this guy for that. Is it a lot harder than it looks? And at this time of year, are there less trade talks than maybe people think?
Yeah, there probably are. Every time a guy goes down for another team, immediately on Twitter they talk about how this team is interested in your player. Teams are pretty reluctant to make knee-jerk reactions in spring training. They always want to find internal solutions. No one ever wants to make a deal when they have zero leverage. So those deals happen less than people think. And I think in general, one of the things that being in this chair that I never would have imagined before I did is that there are fewer players actually available than people might think. Teams value the players they have greatly. And so when people are playing armchair GM, a lot of times their trade discussions are very logical, but a lot of times that player they're talking about just isn't available because the team likes him. So I think that's one of the hardest things is that there's always less available talent in trade than people might think there is.
I had a long talk with John Hart yesterday, and he said you have to stay wedded to the plan. And when the guys finally get here, the Cubs should have the ability then to add from the outside as well. Is that what you guys are looking at, to just stay patient, stay patient.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, Theo always says, you know, someone told him before he got here, you know, patience is really difficult. It takes a lot of, you know, a lot of strength to remain patient and stay true to a plan, you know. Was it the Mike Tyson line? Everyone has a plan until they step in the ring. You know, it's like you can't be that way. You can't abandon your plan once you get a couple losses or, you know, once a shiny toy is available that you know is a bad idea. You have to stay to your plan. I think the teams that have done that really well end up being really successful. So it is hard. You know it is. There's definitely moments when you want to, you know, hit the gas too early because you want to win so badly. But ultimately, what we want is certainly the best thing for the Cubs, which is, you know, a long run of success.
The Cubs are looking for bounce-back seasons from Anthony Rizzo and Starlin Castro. The two members of the Cubs core aren't making excuses for their 2013 performances. Meanwhile, the White Sox are looking for big things from Cuban slugger Jose Abreu in his rookie season, while Adam Dunn enters the final year of a 4-year contract. Dunn is hoping for different results in 2014 than he's had in his first 3 seasons. Hope Springs Eternal returns after this.
And Blue Shield of Illinois wants you to keep your 20s roaring. You should act your age, and you should do it with confidence. Just take the smart choice for health coverage along for the ride. We're ready when you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
Tomorrow, White Sox baseball returns to Comcast SportsNet. Don't miss an extended pregame live from the ballpark and welcome baseball back to the South Side with a division battle between the Sox and Twins. It's opening day tomorrow at 2 on Comcast SportsNet. Visit CSNChicago.com for great deals on your favorite team's merchandise. From jerseys and hats to autographed memorabilia and more. Outfit yourself in your favorite team's gear and visit the fan shop at CSNChicago.com now.
Now is the time to escape to the Champagne Lodge and Luxury Suites in Willowbrook. Just 25 minutes outside of Chicago. It's perfect for a private getaway. Each suite has an oversized whirlpool tub, walk-in steam shower, stone-encased fireplace, relax at our on-site spa with a Swedish or deep tissue massage, hot stone therapy, or mud wrap. Need more? Reserve your very own private pool suite. Book your next special memory at the Champagne Lodge today. You know you deserve it.
Welcome back. Anthony Rizzo struggled in 2013, hitting just .233. However, he did lead the team with 23 home runs and 80 RBIs. After hitting .285 with 15 home runs in just 87 games in 2012, the future at first base is hoping for a big 2014. All right, let's talk about 2014, your mindset going into this season.
Just about winning. As a team, we want to compete in the division first and take care of business, and then, you know, hopefully I'm a big part. We'll be a big part of our success this year.
After 2013, and you know, a lot of your peripheral numbers said you should have had a higher average, but you didn't. Did you do anything different over the winter, or just train the way I always do?
Just train the way I always do. Try to get in great shape, which I feel like I have, and you know, not try to look in too much of the mechanical side, just kind of more relaxed now at the plate, and need to stay that way all year.
How about your role? Some say you are one of the faces of the franchise, if there's a phrase like that. Do you pay attention to that? Do you assume that mantle, or that's for you guys? I don't listen to that.
I think that's awesome. For people to say that about me is an honor, and it's somewhat humbling as well, just because all the great players who have played here, all the great first basemen that have played here. And, you know, it's something that comes with hard work, and you got to work hard and go out, have fun, be a good person on the field, off the field, and, you know, all around.
The prognosticators are not picking the Cubs for greatness. Nobody is. Do you read it and get ticked? Do you not read it? Do you read it and go, that fuels me?
You know, I don't know why they would pick us, to be honest. We haven't earned it, but earned any of their respect, but that's what we need to do, and we need to go out, play, and earn people's respect. The Cubs are going to be a good team in 2014 and for years to come. Can this team surprise people, and why? Absolutely. I think, you know, every team could surprise people. So we have a lot of young guys. We have a lot of young talent as well coming up. So I think, you know, our bullpen will be a lot stronger. Our pitching is very strong this year. So as long as we score runs, we're going to be in contention every game.
Another member of the Cubs core looking for a bounce-back season is Starlin Castro. After making the All-Star team in 2011 and 2012, the Cubs shortstop hit a career-low .245 last season with a career-high 129 strikeouts. Castro refuses to make excuses and embraces a new season, a new manager, and a new attitude.
Last year was a tough year for you, on and off the field. Do people not realize that maybe off the field you had to deal with the contract stuff and the money stuff and everything, that maybe that was a big weight on your shoulders and affected your play?
No, I don't think so, because I don't think about that, about money. Just sign a contract, and get the future for my family, you know what I mean? But I just don't think about that, just try to play baseball, try to do the best I can. It's tough because really tough last year. It's really bad year for me. I don't feel like really good, but just bring positive things to this year, don't think about it last year. The last year's over, and make a good season this year.
Why do you think you struggled last year? Because it looked like the game was so easy for you when you got here.
I don't know, man. I think I think too much. Just like sometimes, like letting a little bit. Don't like concentrate it. That's what I think I needed more. Concentrate a little bit more in the game. Like dedicated like 3 hours, 4 hours every day in the game, and I'm gonna be all right.
This team, a lot of people aren't picking to win. Do you listen to that stuff, don't pay attention, or don't sleep on the Cubs, we're better than you think?
Nah, I'm not pay attention what the people say, We think we got a good group. If we be together, and the season will be good.
I talked to a scout yesterday. He said, I look at Starlin Castro, I don't think he was in the best situation last year. Too many things in your head. This guy saying do this guy saying do that.
Yeah.
He said, and I think the relationship he'll develop with Ricky Renteria, I think you're going to see a different Starlin Castro. Is that
That's right. That's right. Too many teams that listen up, You only have one mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to know. You have to pick it up. There's something with people say like positive, And I think with those people new and here, we got a like good relationship. We talking, we joking, we do everything. That's what you need. I like a player, because you need people that have you back. If I got my teammates back, you have those people down there that have you back too, and it's really important for me. I know that everybody be in the same position. No, somebody tell me this and somebody tell me this. No, everybody tell me the same.
Being that you're Starlin Castro,
yeah,
in a city like Chicago where everyone knows you, do you have to stay more careful, lay low, stay home rather than be out? Because unfortunately with Twitter and camera phones, you don't know who doesn't have your best interests.
Exactly, yeah. I'm gonna stay quiet, go to Chicago ready to play baseball, ready to grab a good year. If I go out, I'm gonna go like nice place, go dinner, and something like that. You can make it. You don't make it like in trouble, And I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be smart.
Starlin Castro going to be the Starlin Castro of 2 years ago. This year, you feel comfortable. I'm a 200-hit man.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I got the style in my mind. I just letting go last year. Don't think about this. That's over. This year is the year.
When the White Sox signed Jose Abreu to the richest contract in team history in October, conditioning director Alan Thomas was one of the first members of the organization to work with the Cuban slugger. The pair have trained together since December, working on everything from strength and nutrition to learning the English language. And if success can be measured in early returns, Jose Abreu could be as good as advertised.
We'll work on that later. Let's do that side, so we'll go to this one. Paso de fuerza. Paso de fuerza. Now we go with him. We wanted to put our stamp on him because, he's ours and give him the right impression. And he's been nothing but receptive to us, so he's been outstanding. Next. Próximo. Next. Next. Yeah. Other side. Otro lado. Other side. Other side. Side. Lado.
Ronda. ¿Cuántas rondas?
8. Hasn't missed. He's on time. If he says he's going to be there, he tries to give everything he can do to be there. If we're hitting, Juan Bateo, And it was like you get the inside pitch. So think, do both. You swing it.
He has an idea of what he wants to do. He goes through his process every day and gets it done to his liking.
Cuatro adentro. Punch it.
You know, he has an idea of what he wants to do and that he's not just up there, you know, using batting practice or using his swings just as a physical thing. I mean, there's a mental side to it, and you can see he's doing it.
Get out there, más lado, so you have to reach. Si quieres solamente en los quadriceps, get it close. So, step. Or you go step. Okay, so then you just go step and pull through, so close. Yes.
He's very mature and professional about how he goes about his stuff, so it's been as smooth as anything else. So he's done a good job so far of just getting ready.
It hasn't always been pretty for Adam Dunn since signing with the White Sox prior to the 2011 season. He's hit just .197 in 3 years on the South Side. But after seasons of 41 and 34 homers, Dunn is looking to end the final year of his contract on a high note. Jen Latta sat down with the slugger in Glendale.
You have a way of dealing with the critics? Listen to them, don't listen to them, use them to motivate you? What's your strategy?
I don't pay attention. I know people probably say, you know, I'm lying, but I mean, I don't, because if I did, I'd be crawled up in a hole somewhere. And you know, you're always going to have fans, you're always going to have critics, and you know, the way I look at it is, no one's going to be harder on themselves than I am. And so what people think, what people say, you know, I get it. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm a realist. I understand, you know, what's going on. And but again, I mean, you know, we're out there trying to do a job, and you can't let, you know, outside interference affect you. The day that I quit having fun, the day I come in, and I've said it from day one, and my dad's told me since, I mean, I'm in high school, I can remember. If you know, you're not enjoying it, you're not having fun, you know, come home. And you know, I've really stuck to that, and I'm not going to sit here and be miserable. I'm not going to sit here and you know, the day I walk in the clubhouse and say, man, this is tough. I'm leaving. I'm going home. And you know, as of late, last couple of years, people have been reading into that differently. But you know, I've been saying that forever. And because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to myself. I don't think it's fair to the organization. I don't think it's fair to the team. That, you know, if I'm not acting or having fun doing it, then I'm not any good to anybody.
A lot of promise on both sides of town, but what's realistic? Our analysts Todd Hounsworth and Belton Bill Melton chime in with their 2014 expectations when we return on Hope Springs Eternal, the Cubs and White Sox preview show.
Presenting the Lexus Drive Like a Pro sweepstakes. Register to win a 2-year lease on a new 2014 Lexus GS 350. Complete details at bulls.com/Lexus.
You're injured. You got bills, you got pain, you got lost wages. My job is to make them pay.
Strom and Associates. 312-609-0400.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first. Like the GMC Sierra, the first pickup to offer a V8 engine that gets an EPA estimated 23 highway miles per gallon. The first to offer an innovative cargo bed with LED lighting. And for the first time ever, during the GMC Open House, all 2014 GMC Sierras are specially priced, so you get thousands off MSRP. This month, use your special value pricing to get over $7,100 total value on this specially equipped GMC Sierra SLT.
A new season brings a new attitude, new hope, and new expectations. After the White Sox finished in last place for the first time in 24 years last season, they are determined to get back to being one of baseball's most competitive teams. For more on what to expect from the 2014 White Sox, Let's go back to Jen Latta and Bill Melton.
Obviously, we are looking at this team coming off of a 99-loss season. A lot of guys say they don't even think about that. The fans kind of still do. What will be different this year?
Well, let me give you the difference. When I first came up to the big leagues, there was no free agency. We lost over 100 games, but we had 7 rookies like we have now. So what we did is at that time, all you do is make trades. You couldn't get up free agents. So they built it around Terry Forster. They built it around myself, Carlos May, Eddie Herman, Dick Allen, of course, was older than the rest of us, but all the young guys with Wilbur Wood and stuff, we started to play as a group. There was, again, no free agency, so we stayed with the White Sox because that was our team. So we all came up together, and we became a better team in 71, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think that's what's going to happen to the White Sox. You come off a bad year, this has given a lot of opportunities for a lot of young guys. That if this was a good baseball team where we were winning 95 games, you wouldn't need all these players. This is a great time, an optimum time for young guys to make a major league team, show the organization what you can do, and then grow with the other guys that are successful. And pretty soon you've built a core of players, which I think we have. And then in a couple of years, I'll keep getting back to the Maglio and Carlos Lee. That's what fans are going to see. Their enthusiasm is going to grow for the fact they want to go out because these guys are fun to watch. You know, they might win 80 games, 81 games, who knows? But it's going to be the type of team that needed to change. Now they can go out and root for young guys and start pulling for guys. You have to have patience with a young team, but overall, I think the people, if we market this right, will enjoy watching the athleticism and the speed of guys that weigh 240 pounds, stealing bases, making great throws. There's a lot of things to look at, a lot of things to like.
As for the Cubs, they've lost 197 games the past 2 seasons as they continue to rebuild from the ground up. But bounce-back seasons from Anthony Rizzo and Starlin Castro paired with a glimpse of the future when Javier Baez makes his anticipated debut could make for a more exciting year on the north side. Let's go back to Cap and Holly for 2014 expectations.
Todd, 2014 at the big league level, people are going to buy tickets, they're going to come out, and they're going to sit at Wrigley Field, and they really don't care about what's going on at A, AA, and AAA. They want to know, what am I watching at Wrigley? Realistic expectations for the 2014 Chicago Cubs.
It could be a tough year. I mean, again, you and I are going to do our best to keep fans excited and optimistic. What we need to do is, again, look to the curve, look to what the growth process is of some of the younger players, even on this team. You feel like you're a little bit undermatched right now. I get it, but Rick Renneria is going to get these guys. Hopefully they clean it up a little bit defensively. You know, I talk about so many different things last year that were going wrong. Hopefully these conversations change. We talk about defensive shifting and then the execution that has to go along with it. The Cubs could have been better about that last year. If you're going to throw pitches inside and you're going to play them to pull, let's make those things happen. If you miss away and guys are lining balls to left field, well, guess what? They're going to get base hits. So there's things that I think can be cleaned up. A lot of errors defensively last year, mistakes, mental mistakes, and then on offense, situational hitting. If this team does the little things better, they're certainly going to be more competitive. I don't think it turns into a ton more wins, but it should be better baseball.
Comcast SportsNet will have 80 of those Cubs games with Cap and Holly. Bill Melton will join me for 107 White Sox games on CSN. We'll have all your pregame and postgame coverage for the North and South Siders.
We thank you for watching Hope Springs Eternal, our 2014 season preview show. Here's hoping that both the Cubs and the White Sox have exciting seasons ahead. Thanks again for watching. I'm David Kaplan.
Today, Feldco honors the best of the best, the top of the class, the ultimate in energy efficiency. To celebrate, Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1.
That's right. Get 2 windows for the price of 1 and graduate to higher savings with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 1 year.
2 windows for the price of 1 and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866
For Feldco. Add style to your bathroom with Brown bath fans from Menards. This decorative fan for rooms up to 75 square feet in 3 finishes is $78. Or add a different look with this model in 2 finishes, $99. Plus all white, CFL, and LED bulbs are on sale, including this 13-watt soft white CFL bulb. It replaces a 60-watt incandescent, just $149. This general-purpose, dimmable LED bulb lasts up to 25,000 hours, $898.
Save big money at Menards.
It's award season, and some talented casts are getting honored for their performances off stage.
Way off stage. Out here, there's plenty of thrills, action, and the occasional cliffhanger. And the stars are much brighter than the ones on the red carpet. But the best part? I get to be the paparazzi.
See them now at the Jeep Award Season event. Well-qualified lessees can lease the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee Sport for $239 a month.
When the world grows too intrusive, escape to one that's all your own. With an interior that was named one of Ward's 10 best. The 2014 Acura RDX.
Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Acura dealer for attractive offers on the RDX.
Hi, I'm Duncan Keith, and this is the home of the Stanley Cup champs, Comcast SportsNet.
Hi again, everyone. Welcome into SportsNet Central, presented by GMC. Alongside Kip Lewis, I'm Mark Shanowski.
The Blackhawks and Penguins clash for the first time since their outdoor game at Soldier Field. But the game was overshadowed by an injury to Jonathan Toews. We'll have the latest from Pittsburgh.
The Bulls and Celtics go down to the wire in Boston.
DJ open from outside. Hot sauce. Give me the hot sauce.
And we get you set for opening day for both the White Sox and Cubs. Why you won't see Paul Konerko in tomorrow's starting lineup.
Spring has arrived on SportsNet Central right now.
This is SportsNet Central, presented by GMC.
Jonathan Toews with it again. That one for Sharp. He scores! Toews moves back in. He's got Sharp. One-on-one. He's able to shoot five. Save! Flurry! Oh, it's a goal! Kane moves ahead. He's got Versteeg. Toe drag. Feds in the front. Score! This is carried right back on now by Son. Gave it across the middle. No! Rebound! Score! He's got Toews up the wing. Save, rebound, oh, and it went in! Another crazy bounce goal! Final score in the game. The Chicago Blackhawks 5. The Pittsburgh Penguins 1.
It was a 5-1 Blackhawks victory in what was a great scene at Soldier Field in the Stadium Series. Jonathan Toews got the best of Sidney Crosby in that one, but this game a little different for Toews. We'll get to that in a moment. First period action, Hawks with a great chance early. Andrew Shaw takes the puck on a breakaway, fires one that goes off the post. Tough break early for the visitors. Later in the period, 2-on-1 for Pittsburgh. James Neal takes it himself, beats Corey Crawford right there. Not great defense. 24th of the season for Neal. It's 1-0 Pens. Just 21 seconds later, Lee Stepniak fires one through the legs of Crawford. Bad goal to give up there. It is now 2-0 Pens. So we would go to the second period. Hawks finally with a chance to get on the board with traffic in front. Sheldon Brookbank fires a blast. It beats Marc-Andre Fleury. Second of the game. Second of the season, makes it a 2-1 game. A little bit later in the period, Jonathan Toews goes for a puck in the corner, but Brooks Oprick absolutely levels him. Toews grabs his left arm, immediately heads to the bench. He would not return. With Patrick Kane already out, of course, this could be a big blow. In the third period, Ben Smith with a shot in front. Marcus Kruger gets the rebound, but Fleury makes the stop. Fleury just able to get his pad on that one through traffic. He had 25 saves on the night. Just over 11 minutes left. Patrick Sharp all alone in the slot, fires a wrister, but another big save by Fleury. Later in the period, Sidney Crosby on a 2-on-1, and he stays with it, but Crawford comes up with a huge stop, and then again on the rebound, it keeps it a 1-goal game. But 3 minutes later, Crosby gets another opportunity on a 2-on-1, and he doesn't miss this time. 35th of the season, puts the game away. The Hawks drop their 3rd in a row and 4th of their last 5. 4-1 is the final. So Sheldon Brookbank's second period tally is all the Hawks could manage in this loss. Fleury stood tall with 25 saves, while Corey Crawford allowed 3 goals on 26 shots. Pittsburgh was much more physical in the game, out-hitting the Hawks 39-21. But of course, the big news, the injury to Jonathan Toews. We are joined now live from Pittsburgh by our CSNChicago.com Hawks insider Tracy Myers. And Tracy, we saw the big hit Toews took. What can you tell us about that injury?
Yeah, we just talked to Coach Joe Quenneville a few minutes ago, and his initial assessment is it doesn't look like it's too serious right now. Toews is listed day to day, so considering the hit, and obviously when you see the captain walking off, holding his arm, elbow, shoulder, there's going to be a concern. But if that stands, if it is day to day, and they look at it tomorrow and it stays that way, that's pretty good news considering that was a pretty heavy hit.
Penalty on the play, of course. What did the Hawks players think about the hit following the game?
Nobody had a really overwhelming opinion on it. And, you think of the really bad hits that some of the Blackhawks have taken. I mean, obviously, when Marian Hossa got hit a couple years ago by Rocky Torres, there was no doubt. I mean, that was just a flagrant hit to the head. He was going right for it. But, some said, well, what we've seen of it, it was borderline, or, we can't tell if he was launching or it was just, a big impact. Some hasn't seen the replay yet, but nobody was really screaming about this one. So, you take it for what it is. I don't know if anybody has seen enough of the replays, and maybe in a couple days they have a different opinion. But as of now, pretty tempered reaction as far as that hit anyway. Obviously, very upset that Toews is gone.
All right, that's our Blackhawks insider, Tracy Myers. Tracy, we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
The Hawks are off until Thursday when they face off with the Wild at the United Center. It's a game you can see right here on Comcast SportsNet. Pre-game live comes your way at 6:30, followed by puck drop at 7. It's all on your home for Blackhawks Hockey CSN.
The Bulls starting a home-and-home series against the Celtics tonight in Boston. Tom Thibodeau's guys looking to bounce back after playing poorly in a loss to Portland on Friday. Bulls will get the offense going early through their all-star center, Joakim Noah. 4 minutes into the game, Noah, a little shot fake, goes right around Chris Humphries. The left-handed dunk, game tied at 6. And later in the opening period, Noah, showing off his passing skills, finds Carlos Boozer going backdoor, the easy lay-in, one of 13 assists for Joe on the night. Late in the first quarter, Celtics rebound, a DJ Augustine miss. Clock running down. Jeff Green just barely beats the buzzer with that 3-ball. Boston led 26-25 after 1. Second quarter action, some more great passing from Noah. He threads the needle there to DJ Augustine, a little reverse lay-in. Bulls in front by 5. But Boston went on a bit of a run before the half. Check out the pass by Rajon Rondo. Brandon Bass flushes the alley-oop. Rondo had 11 assists. Boston up 3. More from Bass just before the break. Drives right past Taj Gibson for the slam. Bass had 12. Still, the Bulls led it at the break, 51-50. Third quarter, Bulls now trailing by 1. Kirk Heinrich, the nice feed. The Boozer for the lefty throwdown. Nice assist from Heinrich. Bulls back in the lead. And then Augustine begins to take over. Game tied at 71. He gets hacked, throws up a tough floater. Take another look. Somehow DJ gets it to go in over Kelly Olynyk. Bulls still up 1 heading to the final 12 minutes. Fourth quarter now. Bulls in front 80-79. Augustine goes baseline, hits the fall-away jumper over the 7-footer. DJ doing his best Ben Gordon impersonation down the stretch. 8 minutes to go. More from DJ. Gets bumped by Jared Sullinger. Gets the shot to go. Augustine had 15 points in the fourth quarter. Under 2 minutes to go, we're tied at 96. Who are the Bulls going to go to? Of course, he's on fire, DJ Augustine. The crossover 3. A career-high 33 points for the former Texas star. Bulls needed just about all of it to escape with the win. 107-102, the final score. Tom Thibodeau not happy with the rebounding or the defense, but he was happy to get up Boston with a victory. Bulls shot 53% from the field, led by 10 of 14 from Augustine, who, in case you didn't know, currently leads all the Bulls' active players in scoring. All 5 Bulls starters finished in double figures. Noah just missing his 4th triple-double of the season. He was 2 rebounds short. Round 2 against the Celtics comes tomorrow night at the United Center. No time to rest. We've got it for you here on Comcast SportsNet. Will Perdue joins me for Bulls pregame live at 6:30. Then Neil and Stacy have the call at 7 on your home for Bulls basketball. Let's take a quick look at some of the Sunday night action in the NBA. The Raptors in Orlando looking to keep pace with the Bulls. Late in the 4th, close game. Kyle Lowry knocks down the 3-ball. He had 16 points. Raptors now in front of the Magic by 5. 1 minute left. Demir Johnson with the helper in the corner. That's DeMar DeRozan. Knocks down the 3-ball. DeRozan had 28 points on the night. Toronto wins again, 98-93. They remain 1 game ahead of the Bulls in that race for the 3rd seed for the upcoming playoffs.
Pacers on the road taking on the Cavaliers. Cleveland up 2 in the 1st off the steal. Former Bull Luol Deng brings it up the court, throws it up to Tristan Thompson, who finishes with a jam. Deng with 15 points and 3 helpers on the night. Late in the 4th now, Cavs pulling away. Dion Waiters nails the 18-foot jumper. Cleveland goes on to win it 90-76. India's now lost 5 straight on the road. Paul Konerko is ready for his 16th opening day with the White Sox, but he won't be in the lineup. We'll hear from the Sox captain on the decision. Plus, our Sox insider Dan Hayes joins us. The team has very high expectations for slugger Jose Abreu. And we go one-on-one with Cubs opening day starter Jeff Samardzija, whose status with the team is in doubt after July 31st.
SportsNet Central on Comcast SportsNet is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first, like the GMC Terrain, the first small SUV to offer an EPA-estimated 32 highway miles per gallon, the first in its class to offer a standard rear vision camera, and for the first time ever, during the GMC Open House, most 2014 GMC models are specially priced, so you can get thousands off MSRP.
For this month, use your special value pricing to get over $2,100 total value on this GMC Terrain.
Hey, what's this? Uverse Live TV?
With AT&T Uverse, you can watch live TV from your device anywhere in your home.
Hey.
So you won't miss a minute of NCAA March Madness. Call now to get a Uverse bundle for the same great price for 2 years, guaranteed.
Do you have a minute to think about business internet? Okay, how about 30 seconds? At Comcast Business, our internet is fast. Up to 5 times faster than slow DSL from the phone company. And our phone's better too. Sign up for Internet and Voice and find out how to get 4 weeks of internet for free. Time to make the call. 800-501-6000. Comcast Business. Built for business.
It's almost impossible to get them to sit down to dinner. That's why we have KFC Dip-Ums! A KFC Dip-Ums bucket. 20 extra crispy tenders. 6 awesome sauces. I mean, he's sitting still. This is kind of miraculous.
Tomorrow, Joakim Noah and the Bulls are in the Madhouse and are going to need some heart, hustle, and muscle as they brawl with the Celtics. Coverage starts at 6:30 with McDonald's Bulls pregame live. Bulls Celtics, tomorrow at 6:30 on Comcast SportsNet.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event has begun. Choose your adventure and take command of the road with the highly capable GX, LX, and RX. Dare to be spontaneous during the Command Performance Sales Event. Get great offers on your favorite Lexus models now through March 31st. Lease the 2014 RX 350 for $399 a month for 36 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
Welcome back. Coming up tomorrow at 1:30, the Bears will introduce defensive end Jarrett Allen at Hallis Hall, and we'll bring you the news conference live right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Matt Forte is a big fan of the Bears' off-season additions. He talked with NBC5's Rebecca Harlow before this morning's Shamrock Shuffle.
Phil is doing a great job, and he's done a great job since he's been here. You know, our offense, our whole starting offense is coming back. And I just think our team as a whole right now is coming together, you know, offense and defense. It's not just going to be two separate sides. You know, for the teams that are very successful, the offense and the defense have a relationship together. We're like brothers in the locker room, and, you know, that's how they work together.
We'll have to wait a bit for football, but our countdown to opening day presented by Coldwell Banker, now just hours away from the start of Chicago's baseball season. And when the White Sox take the diamond at U.S. Cellular Field tomorrow, Paul Konerko will not be in the opening day lineup, first time since 1998. It wasn't the manager's decision, it was really Konerko's. Chuck Garfien has the story from U.S. Cellular Field.
Just like the spelling of his name, there's no I in Paul Konerko. Robin Ventura asked Paul if he wanted to start on opening day, and the captain stepped aside.
It's just pretty simple to me. I mean, there's a plan of roles of when guys play, when they don't play. You just follow it. This game tomorrow, I mean, although it's opening day, you know, if I'm not going to start the 20th game against Ricky Nolasco or whoever's on the mound, then it doesn't matter. That's the first game.
It's not an easy decision, but when you go over how you're going to do this and make this work, and he made it very clear, you know, this is kind of what he signed up to do. I think it's more of respect to him. That's just the kind of teammate he is, and, you know, the respect that he has for his own teammates and our organization to do it the right way.
Not everybody agrees with Konerko's decision not to start, specifically the White Sox opening day starter, Chris Sale.
I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I think he should be out there. I think what he's done for this city, what he's done for this team, who he's been throughout his entire career, you know, I think he kind of earned that. But, you know, what he says goes. I mean, if he didn't want to be out there, you know, it's his prerogative, but that's his decision.
That's great. It's a nice compliment. But I just think that, and I mean, I knew Robin was thinking about it a couple days ago. I think probably a few days ago I probably was playing. If I wanted to play this year and I wanted to, you know, start on opening day, then I should have done better last year to just make it a non-issue.
The White Sox are not scheduled to face a lefty starter until Saturday in Kansas City when they face Bruce Chen and the Royals. But I'm told that Konerko will get a start against a righty in some game before that. Speaking of Monday's game, there are under 3,000 tickets still available. The weather's supposed to be great with highs in the 60s. Covering the White Sox, Chuck Garfien, Comcast Sportsnet.
Thank you, Chuck. In other White Sox news, veteran infielders Gordon Beckham and Jeff Keppinger will start the year on the disabled list. Beckham has been sidelined by a strained oblique muscle, while Keppinger has been dealing with a sore shoulder. Both stints will be backdated to March 21st. That means the two players are eligible to rejoin the active roster on April 5th. Joining us now is Dan Hayes, our White Sox insider from CSNChicago.com. Dan, let's start with the injuries. Any concern about Beckham and Keppinger being able to rejoin the team in a week or so?
At this point, definitely with Gordon Beckham, it's looking like April 5th is a realistic possibility. He was left behind, but he had been improving the last couple of days, has played in some games, and because they were able to backdate the injury to March 21st, he can come off on April 5th, and that's probably a possibility. With Jeff Keppinger, though, you know, it could be a couple of months before we see him. Maybe that's a little too far, but he's restarting his rehab from scratch. And so there's no real timeline on the table at this point.
Chris Sale gets the ball for opening day against the Twins. Do you think this might be the season where he wins the Cy Young Award?
He's definitely come close. Last year, I think that if he had a team that was winning behind him, there's a really good chance. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's one of the top pitchers in the American League. He's shown it for 2 years. Last year was even better. He kind of got through that first year where he was managing himself to get through that heavy inning load, and last year made great strides, was able to use his fastball a lot more later in the year than he had. I think that's going to benefit him a lot this year, and if the team's good behind him, yeah, he's a legitimate candidate for AL Cy Young.
And who's the closer on the team? I know Nate Jones was hurt at the beginning of training camp, but it seems like Robin is keeping that as a state secret.
Yeah, they've been very, I guess Robin's talked about how he's kind of been vague about it all spring. They don't, they're saying they don't want to give away who it's going to be to give the other team an advantage. At this point, everybody kind of has an idea of who your pitchers are. They know all the scouting reports. So I just think they're kind of easing it in. They don't want to make a big deal about it. Nate Jones is probably the guy out of the gate. After that, though, I mean, it could be very similar to 2012 where Hector Santiago started out and they eased Addison Reed in.
Very high expectations for new first baseman Jose Abreu and right fielder Avi Garcia. How good can those two guys be?
The sky is kind of the limit with those guys. Jose Abreu has been so professional. He just looks like a polished hitter. Paul Konerko was talking about it earlier Sunday, saying he might be 26, he might be a rookie here, but he's not a rookie. Avisel Garcia, the guy is just, I've heard he's a linebacker. I've heard he's an H-back in football. You hear all these comparisons. He's a great athlete. There's a ton of power in there if they can unlock it.
Dan Hayes, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to a very interesting season on the South Side. And it all gets started tomorrow afternoon. You can watch the game here on Comcast SportsNet. White Sox against the Minnesota Twins. Our coverage begins at 2 o'clock. Chuck Arfine and Belton Bill Melton. Bill's back from Arizona. They'll be out at U.S. Cellular Field tomorrow. We'll bring you an hour-long edition of White Sox pregame live. Several guests scheduled to stop by, plus to look at some of the new additions to the ball club this season. We'll also bring you all the opening day festivities. Starts at 2 here on Comcast SportsNet. And we'd like to hear from you tonight on Twitter. Which White Sox position player do you think will have the best season in 2014? Remember to use the hashtag White Sox Talk. We'll have some of your answers on the 10:30 edition of SportsNet Central.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Well, the Cubs will send Jeff Samardzija to the mound for the season opener in Pittsburgh tomorrow, but it's unlikely he'll be wearing a Cubs uniform in August. Our David Kaplan caught up with a Shark during spring training and learned the right-hander is mentally prepared for anything the future brings.
Really all this comes down to is 2 or 3 guys. It doesn't come down to outside sources or other, other presidents or managers or players. It really only comes down to myself, my agent and Theo, and in the front office will count as one. So, that's all that matters, and whatever goes on there is really what makes things happen. Obviously I think things can happen on the outside that that cause drama or cause speculation, and that's all it is. It's just talk. So, until something, I'll believe it when it happens, I guess is kind of the approach I'm taking.
Playing football at Notre Dame in that environment where you either love Notre Dame or you hate them. There is no middle ground. You come into an opposing stadium and it's, we hate Jeff Samardzija because he's playing for Notre Dame. Did that prepare you to play baseball, or they're totally different?
Yeah, no, they're about the same. I think the similarities between Notre Dame and the Cubs is the stage they're on, which in turn means anytime you're playing a team that has a chip on their shoulder from either a smaller school or a smaller division or smaller city in professional sports, they have a chip on their shoulder. They're out to prove that, hey, we can play with the big name teams and the big market teams. And I learned that real young at Notre Dame, that it didn't matter if Pitt was coming in or BC or Navy or Rutgers. They all were coming in to beat us at Notre Dame Stadium. And I think you see that also in baseball with the Cubbies is, teams come in, it doesn't matter where they're coming from or what city. It's Chicago, Chicago, New York, LA is the teams you talk about when it comes to media outlets and big market teams. And so they come and they know people are watching, they know it's on TV, and they want to do well and perform well in those games.
I asked some of your teammates, I said not one prognosticator says the Cubs are going to playoffs. No one says the Cubs are going to be 500. Does it tick you off? You don't pay attention, or, yeah, I read it and it motivates me?
You put preseason rankings in one lump group, no matter what the sport is, whether it's football or basketball, it doesn't mean anything. As long as we can hit the beginning of the year healthy and moving in the right direction, then then we'll see what happens after that. But To sit and speculate doesn't do any good, and all we can do is prepare for the season and get ready for the Pirates.
We'll see how Samardzija does tomorrow in Pittsburgh. Well, after a break, we'll check in on the Sprint Cup Series. 5 different winners in 5 races so far this season. And later in the 10:30 edition, reaction from the Blackhawks after the captain, Jonathan Toews, had to leave the game, taking a big hit there from Brooks Orpik.
Spring training reports are brought to you in part by Feldco. For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4FELDCO.
Today, Feldco honors the best of the best, the top of the class, the ultimate in energy efficiency. To celebrate, Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1.
That's right. Get 2 windows for the price of 1 and graduate to higher savings with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 1 year.
2 windows for the price of 1 and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4FELDCO.
The Sonatas are here at unprecedented prices. Save with 0% APR for 72 months or get thousands in savings. Plus, you'll enjoy the assurance of America's best warranty. That's 10 years, 100,000 miles. Don't miss this limited time, limited supply offer. With these incredible deals, they're sure to go quick. Get a Sonata at 0% APR for 72 months or $2,000 retail bonus cash. Plus, get a $500 valued owner coupon. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Hi, my name is Carlos Gaitan. I'm the chef owner of Mexique. Coming from Mexico and not having any insurance over there, I know how important it is to have a health insurance here in the United States. We call the navigators, and then we make an appointment with them. The navigators explain a lot of things that I didn't understand, and it feels really great because they provide insurance for me and for my wife. Very happy. I just got covered by insurance here in Illinois. Stay healthy for the kids, you know.
Cleaning away calcium, lime, and rust buildup is cleaner with CLR. It's safe enough to carry the EPA Designed for the Environment label. Yet it has a powerful cleaning formula that you can trust to dissolve tough calcium and lime deposits and surface rust stains quickly and easily. Crusty white buildup on shower heads and hard water stains from coffee pots. Plus, it helps dishwashers and washing machines clean better. Safe, effective CLR. We make cleaning cleaner.
CLR is available at these fine stores.
The Kia Optima LX for $189 a month has more horsepower than the Honda Accord and gives you way more bang for your buck. The Optima has an overall 5-star safety rating, Bluetooth connectivity, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's the no-brainer of all no-brainers. At $189 a month for qualified lessees, there's never been a better time to visit your local Kia dealer.
We are back with tonight's racing report brought to you by Chicagoland Speedway. 5 different winners in the first 5 Sprint Cup races this season. Guys in Martinsville today, 18 laps left. Jimmy Johnson passes Kurt Busch on the inside. Johnson led the most laps today. Those 2 drivers would battle to the finish. 12 laps remaining now. Busch passes Johnson with a similar tactic there, and then was able to hold him off down the stretch. So Kurt Busch takes the checkered flag, ends an 83-race winless streak. He is the 6th different winner in 6 Sprint Cup races this season.
Our GMC professional grade player of the night is Bulls guard DJ Augustine, who had 33 points off the bench in the Bulls' 107-102 win over the Celtics. It's only the 3rd time in the last 5 years that a Bulls player had 30 points as a reserve. Nate Robinson and Kirk Heinrich also in that group.
He's been amazing.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, he's almost saved their season in some ways.
They might have 6 less wins if they didn't have DJ on this team.
I love having DJ around. Yeah. This has been SportsNet Central, presented by GMC. A lot going on right now in Chicago sports. The Bulls and Hawks trying to get into the playoff race and positioning, and of course opening day in baseball tomorrow.
And the weather's actually supposed to be nice at U.S. Cellular Field. Much more on all the day's top stories. SportsNet Central coming right back. We hope you stay with us.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first. Like the GMC Acadia, the first 8-passenger crossover to offer an EPA-estimated 24 highway miles per gallon. The first in the industry to offer a front center airbag. And for the first time ever, during the GMC Open House, most 2014 GMC models are specially priced, so you can get thousands off MSRP. This month, use your special value pricing to get over $2,900 total value on this GMC Acadia.
Russell drives down the middle, puts it up, and Byer is there to slam it home.
Hey, what's this?
Uverse Live TV?
With AT&T Uverse, you can watch live TV from your device anywhere in your home.
Hey.
So you won't miss a minute of NCAA March Madness. Call now to get a Uverse bundle for the same great price for 2 years, guaranteed.
Get the best brands, best quality, best price, period, on a great selection of paint from Menards. With thousands of colors to choose from, you're sure to find the right look for your home. Add beauty and reduce odor with Dutch Boy Refresh. It's the first and only paint with Arm & Hammer odor-reducing technology, continuously reducing odors in your home. With a self-priming formula and lifetime warranty, save $4 a gallon. That's $20 on 5-gallon pails.
Save big money at Menards.
It's Empire Today's biggest sale, the 50-50-50 sale. 50% off carpet, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation. That's right, half off your entire project. You can save thousands. Choose from luxurious plush, durable Berber, or textured Frisé carpet. Empire's 50-50-50 sale won't last long. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. Now on CNBC, Tuesdays are more ruthless.
I want you to sweat. I want you to be scared.
TV's hit show Shark Tank is on CNBC Tuesdays.
Why don't you cut him a little slack?
Oh, why don't you cut him a check? Tuesdays have more bite.
That is the beauty of the tank.
Shark Tank Tuesdays, 8 and 9 Eastern on CNBC.
Brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana GMC dealers, using new ideas and incredible thinking to bring you professional-grade engineering and higher standards. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hi, I'm Brian Bickle, and you're watching the TV home of Stanley Cup champs, Comcast SportsNet.
Welcome back to SportsNet Central, presented by GMC. I'm Mark Shanowski. An injury to yet another Blackhawks star overshadows a hard-fought game between the Blackhawks and Penguins. The Bulls get a dynamic performance from DJ Augustine off the bench against the Celtics. We'll have reaction from Boston.
And I'm Kip Lewis. The first unofficial day of spring is almost here. We'll have a report from the South Side, where the Sox have big expectations for two of their young stars. And Paul Konerko takes himself out of the lineup, and it's not because of an injury. Plus, Michigan and Michigan State try to make the Final Four a Big 3+1. The gang's all here on SportsNet Central right now.
This is SportsNet Central, presented by GMC.
Jonathan Taves with it again. That one for Sharp. He scores! Taves moves back in. He's got Sharp. One-on-one. He's able to check by. Save! Murray! To go! King moves ahead. He's got Versteeg. Toe drag. Fed to the front. Score! This is carried right back on now by Son. Get it across the net. No! Rebound! Score! He's got Taves up the wing. Save, rebound, and went in! Another crazy bounce goal! Final score in the game. The Chicago Blackhawks 5. The Pittsburgh Penguins 1.
That was the last time the Hawks and Penguins met. It was a 5-1 Blackhawks victory in what was a great scene at Soldier Field in the Stadium Series. Jonathan Taves got the best of Sidney Crosby in that one, but different day for Taves in this game. First period action, Hawks with a great chance early. Andrew Shaw takes the puck on a breakaway, fires that one, goes off the post. Tough break early for the visitors. Later in the period, 2-on-1 for Pittsburgh. James Neal takes it himself, beats Corey Crawford, 24th of the season for Neal. It's 1-0 Pens. Just 21 seconds later, Lee Stepniak fires one through the legs of Crawford. Bad goal to give up there, 2-0 Pens. And then to the second period, Hawks finally get a chance to get on the board. Little traffic in front. Sheldon Brookbank fires a blast, beats Marc-Andre Fleury. Second of the season, makes it a 2-1 game. Then a little bit later in the period, Jonathan Toews goes for a puck in the corner. Brooks Orpik absolutely levels him. Toews grabs his left arm, immediately heads to the bench. He would not return with Patrick Kane already out. That could be a big blow. In the third period, Ben Smith with a shot in front. Marcus Kruger gets the rebound, but Fleury makes that stop. Fleury just able to get a pad on that one through traffic. He had 25 saves on the night. Just over 11 minutes left. Patrick Sharp all alone in the slot. Fires a wrister, but another big save by Fleury. Later in the period, Sidney Crosby on a 2-on-1. Going to stay with it, but Crawford comes up with a huge stop there. And then again on the rebound, keeps it a 1-goal game. 3 minutes later, Crosby gets another opportunity on a 2-on-1, and he's not going to miss it this time. 35th of the season, puts the game away. The Hawks drop their third in a row and fourth of their last 5. 4-1 is the final. So Sheldon Brookbank's second period tally is all the Hawks could manage in the loss. Fleury stood tall with those 25 saves. Corey Crawford allowed 3 goals on 26 shots. Pittsburgh much more physical in the game, out-hitting the Hawks 39-21. But of course, the big news, the injury to Jonathan Toews.
Obviously it's a tough road trip, and maybe it's a wake-up call for the whole team. Losing Johnny, it's never easy when you lose a leader like that. But hopefully it's gonna be back soon. We don't know what exactly it is yet, so we'll see what's gonna happen tomorrow.
You were right there. What did you make of the hit?
Well, I was right there, but I was my back was turned, sideways, so I saw him, just right when that happened. So it's, from my side, it's, it happened really fast, so it's really tough to judge. I have to see it on the replay. I haven't seen it yet.
You guys starting to feel a little snake pit with the timing of these injuries now?
Well, obviously, big guys, we are Patrick Kane, and we'll see how bad it's gonna be Johnny. Hopefully it's nothing big, and it's gonna take a little break. But we just have to figure out how to play without top guys.
The Hawks are off until Thursday when they face off with the Wild at the United Center. It's a game you can see right here on Comcast SportsNet. Pre-game live comes your way at 6:30, followed by puck drop at 7. It's all on your home for Blackhawks hockey, CSN.
Tom Thibodeau and his players really weren't happy with the effort in Friday's home court loss to Portland. And with only 10 games left in the regular season, they know it's going to take a strong finish to earn that number 3 seed for the Eastern Conference playoffs. It all gets started tonight in Boston, a team the Bulls should be able to handle. They got the offense going early thanks to their all-star center, Joakim Noah. 4 minutes into the game, little shot fake here, gets Chris Humphries on roller skates, goes in, dunks it with the left hand, game tied at 6. Later in the opening quarter, Noah showing off those passing skills. Spots Carlos Boozer going backdoor. The easy lay-in for C. Booz, one of 13 assists for Joe on the night. Late in the first quarter, Celtics with the rebound, push it up court. Jeff Green just barely beats the buzzer. That's good for 3, so the Celtics lead it 26-25 after 1. Second quarter, more great passing from the All-Star center. Beautiful bounce feed to DJ Augustine, lays it in. Bulls up by 5. But the home team went on a bit of a run before the half. Nice pass by Rajon Rondo to Brandon Bass, who throws it home. Rondo had 11 assists. Boston up 3. More from Bass. Goes past Taj Gibson, the big two-hand slam. Bass with a dozen. Still the Bulls led it at the break, 51-50. Third quarter. Bulls still trailing by 1. Kirk Heinrich drives the dish to Carlos Boozer. How about that? The left-hand dunk for Booz. Nice assist by Captain Kirk. Then Augustine starts to take over the game. Tied at 71. The off-balance floater goes down. Take another look. Kelly Olynyk probably fouled him there, but he gets the bucket. Bulls still up 1 heading to the final 12. Fourth quarter now. Bulls still clinging to a 1-point lead. Augustine goes baseline again over the 7-footer. DJ doing his best Ben Gordon impersonation down the stretch. Bulls lead is 3. 8 minutes to go. DJ, the crossover, hits the shot there. He had 15 points in the fourth quarter alone. Under 2 minutes to go. We're tied at 96. What are the Bulls going to do? Just get out of the way. Let DJ Augustine shoot. Knocks down another 3 ball. Bulls in front 99-96, a career-high 33 for Augustine. Bulls need all of them to escape Boston with a victory, 107-102. Tibbs not happy with the defense or the rebounding, but he loved the shooting, 53% from the field. Augustine, 10 of 14. He currently leads the Bulls in scoring right now, coming off the bench. All 5 starters scored in double figures, with Noah just missing his 4th triple-double of the season. Wound up with 8 boards to go with 13 points and 13 assists. Here's DJ on his huge 4th quarter that carried the Bulls to a win.
Just the fact that Tibbs, he calls a lot of plays for me to handle the ball, and I just try to take advantage of whatever the defense gives me. If they back off me or go under screens, I'm gonna shoot it and just make plays for my teammates, and he gives me that confidence.
Really happy that he's part of this team. As soon as he came in, he fit in right away, and he's a laid-back guy, quiet guy, but he's a hell of a competitor. Plays well in the big moment. We wouldn't be in this position right now if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, the question is, how much will it cost to re-sign DJ on the open market? Well, round 2 against the Celtics comes tomorrow at the United Center. We've got the game for you here on Comcast SportsNet. Will Perdue will join me for Bulls pregame live from the United Center at 6:30. And Neil and Stacy have the play-by-play call at 7 on your home for Bulls basketball.
The remaining 2 spots in next week's Final 4 up for grabs. Michigan State taking on UConn, a team that has stepped it up in the last couple of weeks. Spartans trailing by 2 late when Shabazz Napier drains the elbow jumper. The Huskies guards hitting big shots all afternoon in this one. Then Michigan State down by 5. The Huskies beat the press. Philip Nolan throws down the clincher. UConn pulls off the upset 60-54. They will face Florida next weekend.
Season's over. Our goal was to play in the Final Four. That's what we've been talking about since the beginning. And to get this close and be up in the second half by 9 points is tough right now. But, we didn't do things necessary for us to win, so it's all on us.
To be honest with you, we got what we deserved all year long. This team battled and did everything they could do, and unfortunately, we did not bring our A game today, and we got what we deserved today. And I tried to tell these guys that when you get to the tournament, you got to bring it every second. And today, Connecticut did, and we just kind of weren't as good as we've been. But we've had a hell of a year, and I'm going to congratulate them and also congratulate us on an incredible year under the circumstances.
Now to the Midwest Regional Final. Kentucky and Michigan tied at 72. Aaron Harrison drains one from three-point land with Karis LeVert draped all over him. Now, Aaron Harrison, not known for his three-point shooting. His twin brother is the better shooter, but Aaron made 4 in a row down the stretch. Unbelievable. Kentucky wins another nail-biter, 75-72. The 8th-seeded Wildcats move on to face Wisconsin in the Final Four on Saturday.
I felt pretty confident all game that we could pull away, but with the way they're getting on the offensive glass, it was just tough for us to pull away just because they had so many second chance points. But I think we did a good job of fighting all game, and Kentucky's they're a great team and they deserve to go to the Final Four.
With a tie game, we had the one foul to give that we wanted to use somewhere under 10. We used it right at 10. They're so good at driving it, and they have been shooting at 33% all year. You're not going to go out and make them drive the ball to the basket. You're going to make them score over you. And I thought he got his hand up, and I thought he did. They did a good job on it, but he made a shot from deep.
Yeah, tough shot by Aaron Harrison. Now Wisconsin, the only Big Ten team going to the Final Four. Paul Konerko has been a fixture in the White Sox opening day lineup since 1999, but tomorrow he'll be watching from the bench, at least at the start of the game. And our Sox insider Dan Hayes joins us in studio. He tells us why this Sox team figures to be much better than the squad that lost 99 times a year ago.
At GMC, incredible thinking always comes first. Like the GMC Terrain, the first small SUV to offer an EPA-estimated 32 highway miles per gallon. The first in its class to offer a standard rear vision camera. And for the first time ever, during the GMC Open House, most 2014 GMC models are specially priced, so you can get thousands off MSRP.
For this month, use your special value pricing to get over $2,100 total value on this GMC Terrain.
There's a first time for everything. We achieve goals, celebrate, cherish, and protect what really matters.
Add style to your bathroom with Broan bath fans from Menards. This decorative fan for rooms up to 75 square feet in 3 finishes is $78. Or add a different look with this model in 2 finishes, $99. Plus all Fight, CFL, and LED bulbs are on sale, including this 13-watt soft white CFL bulb. It replaces a 60-watt incandescent at just $149. This general purpose dimmable LED bulb lasts up to 25,000 hours, $898.
Save big money at Menards.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event has begun. Command the power, exhilaration, and precision of the Lexus Performance line. During the Command Performance Sales Event, get great offers on your favorite Lexus models now through March 31st. Lease the all-wheel drive 2014 IS 250 for $349 a month for 27 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
We are back with our countdown to opening day presented by Coldwell Banker. It's about 13 and a half hours until first pitch between the Cubs and Pirates in Pittsburgh. And when the White Sox take the field tomorrow afternoon, a 3 o'clock start at U.S. Cellular Field, Paul Konerko will not be in the opening day lineup for the first time since 1998. It wasn't Robin Ventura's decision, it was Konerko's. Chuck Garfien has more.
Just like the spelling of his name, there's no I in Paul Konerko. Robin Ventura asked Paul if he wanted to start on opening day, and the captain stepped aside.
It's just pretty simple to me. I mean, there's a plan of roles of when guys play, when they don't play. You just follow it. This game tomorrow, I mean, although it's opening day, you know, if I'm not going to start the 20th game against Ricky Nolasco or whoever's on the mound, then it doesn't matter. That's the first game.
It's not an easy decision, but when you go over how you're going to do this and make this work, and he made it very clear, you know, this is kind of what he signed up to do. I think it's more of respect to him. That's just the kind of teammate he is, and you know, the respect that he has for his own teammates and our organization to do it the right way.
Not everybody agrees with Konerko's decision not to start, specifically the White Sox opening day starter, Chris Sale.
I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I think he should be out there. I think what he's done for this city, what he's done for this team, who he's been throughout his entire career, you know, I think he's kind of earned that. But you know, what he says goes. I mean, if he didn't want to be out there, you know, it's his prerogative. That's his decision.
That's great. It's a nice compliment. But I just think that, and I mean, I knew Robin was thinking about it a couple days ago. I think probably a few days ago I probably was playing. If I wanted to play this year and I wanted to, you know, start on opening day, then I should have done better last year to just make it a non-issue.
The White Sox are not scheduled to face a lefty starter until Saturday in Kansas City when they face Bruce Chen and the Royals. But I'm told that Konerko will get a start against a righty in some game before that. Speaking of Monday's game, there are under 3,000 tickets still available. The weather's supposed to be great with highs in the 60s. Covering the White Sox, Chuck Garfien, Comcast Sportsnet.
Roger Bosser doing a great job to get that field ready. Jose Abreu making his major league debut tomorrow afternoon. Not only will the Cuban first baseman face the pressure of living up to that 6-year, $68 million contract he signed in the offseason, but he's also replacing the enormously popular Paul Konerko.
No pressure. There's no pressure at all. Like I said before, I'm not here to to prove anything. I'm just gonna do my best, and I will help the team, in that regards. But there's really no pressure.
You can just tell by his makeup and his, he's just because it's his first year here, he's not young. He's polished. He's got more. I think that's the one thing is that he might be a rookie here, but he's not a rookie.
In other White Sox news, veteran infielders Gordon Beckham and Jeff Keppinger will start the year on the disabled list. Beckham has been sidelined by a strained oblique muscle, while Keppinger having all kinds of problems with a sore shoulder. Both stints will be backdated to March 21st, which means the two players are eligible to rejoin the active roster on April 5th. Joining us now is Dan Hayes, our White Sox insider from CSNChicago.com. Dan, let's start with the injuries. Any concern about Beckham and Keppinger being able to rejoin the team in a week or so?
At this point, definitely with Gordon Beckham, it's looking like April 5th is a realistic possibility. He was left behind, but he had been improving the last couple of days, has played in some games, and because they were able to backdate the injury to March 21st, he can come off on April 5th, and that's probably a possibility. With Jeff Keppinger, though, it could be a couple of months before we see him. Maybe that's a little too far, but he's restarting his rehab from scratch. And so there's no real timeline on the table at this point.
What's your view on the Sox starting pitching rotation? Robin and Don Cooper decided they were going to split up the lefties and righties, which meant that John Danks wound up being the number 5 guy, even though he had a pretty good spring. What do you think about the overall quality of that Sox rotation?
Well, I think one thing that they're doing well with it is that they're kind of insulating themselves so that the pitchers who potentially, Eric Johnson's a rookie, you've got Felipe Paulino coming off his surgery. Basically, by splitting them up and putting them kind of up against the horses in the rotation, you're splitting it up and not maybe running your bullpen out. You're kind of dividing it up and making the workload a little more evened out so that you don't have your bullpen taken down by the end of day 4. So I think that it's a good way to go about it, especially with a couple guys coming back and not being certain there. John Danks still needs to prove. He did a very good job last year proving he's healthy, but they need him to show that he's back to the innings guy that he was before. So I kind of think it was from that standpoint, it was a good way to split things up and also to split up the 3 lefties.
What are your expectations for this team? Obviously, they lost 99 games a year ago. They almost won the division in 2012. What do you see as a ballpark final record for the Sox this year?
Well, first of all, they're going to be better. There's just no way that they can match that level of bad last year. If you look at it, everywhere you looked, there was something that went wrong, whether it was defense, whether it was base running, whether it was personal issues for players. There was stuff that just popped up everywhere. It was like the rain cloud didn't pick one guy to go to, it picked everyone. And I think that it's a new year, you have an entirely new club, guys that weren't around for that. So, with the potential, there's a lot of it. It's going to have to be realized. They're a young team, and there's going to be ups and downs with that kind of team. I think it's a 75 to 78 win team, probably at a minimum with a higher ceiling than that, but you just never know. Young teams usually tend to be roller coaster rides, and that could very well happen here.
Dan Hayes, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to a very interesting season on the South Side. And it all gets started tomorrow afternoon right here on Comcast SportsNet. The White Sox opening the season against the Minnesota Twins. Our coverage begins at 2 o'clock. Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton bring you an hour-long edition of White Sox pregame live from the ballpark. Several Sox guests are expected to stop by. Plus, the guys will look at some of the new additions to the ball club this season. We'll also bring you all the opening day festivities, so make your plans to join us.
And earlier in the show, we asked which White Sox position player will have the best season in 2014. Andy says Adam Dunn will have his best season since coming to Chicago. Believe wearing 44 is going to do it for him.
It was the number that was causing him
That
problems.
had to be the problem. While Sherry says that newcomer Adam Eaton is going to be our superstar. He's going to be a great leadoff man. His nickname is Spanky. That
Right.
says it all, right?
Sure does.
We thank you for all your responses. The Dodgers and Padres got the honor of kicking off the official North American start of the new baseball season. Former Cub Andrew Kashner getting the start for the Padres, this one in San Diego. And it was a good start for Kashner in the game. Start out in the top of the first. He starts his season with back-to-back strikeouts. He punches out Carl Crawford and then gets Yasiel Puig in a perfect first. Kashner gave up 1 run in 6 innings with 5 Ks. Dodgers up 1-0 in the 8th. They go to setup man Brian Wilson. First batter he faces pinch hitter Seth Smith. And what do you think he does? Seth is going yard. A meatball from Wilson deep to right. We are tied at 1. A few batters later, 2 on for Chris Denorfia. He rips one back up the middle. That scores a pair of runs. Denorfia gives the Padres the lead. They go on to win it 3-1 the final.
You know, Brian Wilson had a different number in San Francisco, so maybe it is the number.
Change the number.
He's just a big 0 with the Dodgers.
Oh, wow.
We got more Blackhawks reaction coming up to that ugly hit from Brooks Horpik on the captain, Jonathan Toews. We'll hear from Corey Crawford after a break.
He loves skiing and skateboarding, so young Tom Sims combined them, creating a whole new way down the mountain. Uncompromising creativity. It's also how Mazda made a crossover that combines nimble handling with outstanding fuel efficiency. This is the Mazda CX-5. What do you drive? Now, get the 2014 Mazda CX-5 with SkyActiv technology for 0.9% APR for 60 months.
Before meeting them, I'm thinking that I'm having a hard time through life and experiencing different things that's challenging. And you meet a kid that's 19 years old and he's going through cancer. For them to actually say that they want to meet me is kind of huge. And you just try to live up to not only your expectation, but theirs. The word hope, that's huge. When you're dealing with hope, you're dealing with a different type of feeling. It can connect with a lot of people.
Special sauce?
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club. Inside, the best of the best gather. And tonight, they welcome their newest member, Mr. LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player in the world? The new Bacon Clubhouse sandwich, of course. 100% pure beef or chicken on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
You should serve it to everyone.
The real deal is the Passat TDI Clean Diesel gets up to 795 highway miles per tank.
Actually, we're throwing in a $1,000 fuel reward card. We've never done that. That's why there's never been a better time to buy a Passat TDI Clean Diesel.
So it's like 2 deals in 1.
Exactly.
During the first ever Volkswagen TDI Clean Diesel event, get a great deal on a Passat TDI that gets up to 795 highway miles per tank. And get a $1,000 fuel reward card. It's like 2 deals in 1. Hurry in and get a $1,000 fuel reward card and 0.9% APR for 60 months on TDI models.
Blackhawks took on the Penguins. Scary moment for the Hawks in the second. Brooks Orpik with a monster hit on Jonathan Toews. He immediately grabbed his left arm and went to the bench. He did not return to the game. Bad news for the Hawks. Then the third, Sidney Crosby puts this one away with his 35th goal of the season. Hawks fall to Pittsburgh 4-1. They have now dropped 3 in a row, but afterwards, all the talk about the Jonathan Toews injury.
Lose him. It's a big loss, but we're going to find a way to win some games here and have some other guys step up. We have 2 of our best players out. Every team goes through that, so there's no excuses here.
Here's tonight's Country Financial top performers. Kevin Durant goes over 25 points for the 38th game in a row. You know about DJ Augustine's night, and DeMar DeRozan at 28 for the Raptors.
The plays of the day are presented by Lexus.
Back to Pittsburgh for number 3. Sidney Crosby leads a 2-on-1, takes it himself, but Corey Crawford comes up with 2 big saves, sprawling out, covers the puck with the glove, but the Hawks lose it 4-1.
To Detroit for number 2, Wings Lightning. Gustav Nyquist gets harassed on a breakaway, spun around, still somehow sneaks one past Ben Bishop. Nyquist so strong on the puck, scores from an impossible angle there. Wings win it 3-2.
And back to Boston for number 1. DJ Augustine on the drive, tosses one up over the 7-footer Kelly Olenek. Somehow gets it to fall. Check it out again. Augustine with a bucket and a foul. Bulls win it by 5. Huge day coming up here on Comcast SportsNet tomorrow. The Jared Allen News Conference, live coverage at 1:30. White Sox Twins opening day starts at 2. Bulls Celtics at 6:30. Thanks for watching SportsNet Central, presented by GMC.
You get to go home. I will see you back here at midnight for an all-new SportsNet Central. For Mark, I'm Kip. Thanks for watching.